Hey everyone, this is weather forecaster Liam. Here's your top weather news and headlines for today's video. Hurricane season has officially begun. We have already had 2 preseason tropical storms to talk about, and as of this morning, we now have our 3rd tropical storm of the year named Cristobal. And this is the earliest 3 tropical storms that have formed in recorded Atlantic history. Definitely off to a strong start. We'll talk about that and also a multi-day severe weather threat for much of the eastern United States this week, where strong winds, large hail, and tornadoes are all possible, and also the 3-day temperature forecast for the entire United States. All this and more is coming up right here on TRA Weather. Alright, today is June 2nd, 2020. As always, we start off with a look at the National Weather Service hazards map, where not too much is happening right now besides some excessive heat warnings and also heat advisories across the southwestern United States, where temperatures are really hot in the upper 90s and also hundreds, and even a few hundred teens across the desert regions in the southwestern United States. So if you do live in those areas, make sure to heed those excessive heat warnings and also those heat advisories. Make sure to take plenty of breaks, drink lots of water, and get into air-conditioned buildings. And also, a severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for southern Minnesota, western Wisconsin, and northern Iowa for some severe thunderstorms that are possible tonight across the Ohio Valley, Midwest, and portions of the Mid-Atlantic. Also followed by a few severe thunderstorm warnings and 2 tornado warnings. One of those is in southern Minnesota, and the other one is in southwestern Nebraska. They're not really seeing too many tornadoes across anywhere in the United States tonight and also tomorrow, though we could have some severe weather both tonight, as you're seeing now, and also tomorrow, and maybe even into Thursday. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. So let's start off with the 3-day temperature forecast for the entire United States. Going to start off with Wednesday's high temperature. And man, it is hot really no matter where you go, with widespread 80s, 90s, and hundreds across the United States. You can even see those 110s, even a few hundred teens across the southwestern United States in the states of Arizona, Nevada, and California. Now, the really only areas that you get some relief with those 70s and 60s is across the far northwestern and northeastern portions of the United States. So other than that, you're going to be dealing with 80s, 90s, and hundreds. Now forward to Wednesday night's low temperature. Most of us are going to be dealing with 70s and 60s. A few 50s and even a few 40s will be around the farther north you go. Now forward to Thursday's high temperature. There was some bad data from the National Weather Service, so this is the GFS model's forecast for Thursday's high temperature. Roughly the same as Wednesday's, except maybe even a little hotter than Wednesday's. That also goes the same for Thursday night's low temperature, a little warmer than Wednesday night's low temperature. Now forward to Friday's high temperature. Again, it just keeps getting hotter across the United States. Not really seeing any 60s, and it's very hard to find any 70s across this entire map. Now one more time forward to Friday night's low temperature. This is also the same case, where Friday night's low temperature is even hotter, with more 70s and 60s and less 50s and 40s. So now let's head on over to the 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook from the National Hurricane Center for the Atlantic Ocean. And we may have no areas of interest right now, though we do have our 3rd tropical storm of the season named Cristobal. And in fact, that was Tropical Storm Amanda about a week ago. It has since made its way further northward over the Guatemala, southern Mexico regions, weakened into just a cluster of thunderstorms, but has since strengthened over the Gulf of Mexico into now Tropical Storm Cristobal. And very sadly, Amanda caused 15 fatalities across the Guatemala, southern Mexico region due to some very heavy flooding, and sadly, Cristobal is still bringing very heavy rain to both of those regions, and is going to continue to bring rain over both those regions over the next couple of days, as you see this storm really moves at a snail's pace. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday, almost in the exact same area as, thankfully, a tropical storm. Though right now it's moving southwest at 3 miles per hour, has maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour, and some tropical storm warnings are now in effect for portions of southern Mexico. Though by the time Saturday and Sunday come along, it does start picking up pace, and it starts moving due northward, going to eventually affect somewhere in the United States, whether that be Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. Not totally sure yet. It's nearly a week out, though. Definitely keep an eye on this storm because this could actually become a hurricane as some models are forecasting. Though right now it looks to be is going to remain a tropical storm, but definitely possible for this to become a hurricane by early next week. So now let's go on over to the future radar forecast. This is going to be for the Gulf of Mexico from the GFS model. And this is going to be for 2 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday. And you can see that cluster of thunderstorms across southern Mexico and also Guatemala. And that is Tropical Storm Cristobal. And you can see a full 24 hours later, 2 p.m. Eastern Time Friday, and that storm is nearly in the exact same spot it was before. But by Saturday, it finally starts picking up pace, moving northward, right around 997 millibars, and according to the GFS model, will make landfall somewhere in the southeastern Louisiana region. Though there is some uncertainty on exactly if that storm will make its way a little further eastward or a little further westward than this model shows. Though let's go over to the rainfall. This is from the GFS model first, now and until Tuesday, where it has a lot of rainfall for Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, even into Louisiana and Texas, really much of the southeastern United States. Now over to the European model, a little less rainfall for Florida and a little more rainfall for Mississippi, Louisiana, and a lot of rainfall now for Arkansas. So definitely a few things to fine tune over the next week, though definitely keep an eye on this. Keep tuned to TRA Weather for updates on Tropical Storm Cristobal and possibly Hurricane Cristobal by early next week. And we're going to have multiple days of severe weather that could last into the weekend. So here's the future radar forecast from the Namm model for the eastern half of the United States. And going to start off with tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You see we have some severe thunderstorms across southern Minnesota, western Wisconsin, and northern Iowa, where that severe thunderstorm watch is in effect. And also a few thunderstorms possible across Nebraska and Kansas, though those will dissipate within the next handful of hours. Forward to midnight tonight going into Wednesday, that line of showers is now mainly over northern Iowa and also Wisconsin, though will eventually be into the state of Michigan. Also, a few thunderstorms could develop across northern Pennsylvania and also areas in New York State. Forward into 6 a.m. Eastern Time Wednesday morning, that line of showers really dissipates, just a few lingering ones across eastern Michigan and northern Missouri. Same goes for the northeastern United States. Later on the day Wednesday into the afternoon hours, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, rather quiet, though we do see some thunderstorms now starting to get going across western New York State and northern Pennsylvania. And there's a lot of energy across much of the eastern half of the United States. This is for 2 p.m. Eastern Time, the future CAPE, which stands for Convective Available Potential Energy, really fuel for these storms. And you see there's a lot of it across Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, and that's where most of the storms are going to develop Wednesday. As we go forward to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, you see that line of showers starting to develop. They eventually make their way further southward and continue to strengthen as they do so, though later on into the day, into the nighttime hours, they will eventually start to dissipate, though there could be an area of enhanced showers across Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, where there's a little more energy for those storms to last a little longer. So definitely keep an eye on that line of storms if you live within that region. Now forward to 9 a.m. Eastern Time Thursday morning. A few isolated showers here and there, but not really any organized system. Though by 2 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday afternoon, we could have more severe thunderstorms developing across the southeast now, mainly across Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi. Now forward one more time to 7 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday night, where thunderstorms continue across the southeast and could actually get into portions of the Ohio Valley and also portions of the Mid-Atlantic. So definitely a lot to watch over the next upcoming days. So let's head on over to our TRA weather prediction for tonight, where we actually have a high risk for seeing severe thunderstorms across Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and very western Michigan. And outside of that, the medium risk for seeing severe thunderstorms shaded in yellow. Chicago, Minneapolis, Detroit, you're all under that medium risk of seeing severe thunderstorms tonight. And then outside of that, the low risk for seeing severe thunderstorms shaded in green. And now over to our TRA weather torcons for tonight. See only areas of 1 through 2 torcons, so not really high chance for seeing tornadoes, but the chances are there for an isolated tornado or two. though again, don't expect a major tornado outbreak, just going to be a scattered tornado here and there, if any. Though again, Detroit, Chicago, Minneapolis, all at torcons of 1 through 2 tonight. And forward one more time to our TRA weather prediction for Wednesday, where we actually have a very high risk for seeing severe thunderstorms across Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and the very southeastern tip of Kansas. Outside of that, the high risk for seeing severe thunderstorms shaded in red, medium risk shaded in yellow, and the low risk shaded in green. Now, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Philadelphia, you are all under that high risk for seeing severe thunderstorms Wednesday. Okay, so here's the storm hazards for tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday. Okay, so we have a risk level 4 out of 5 for Cape. There is plenty of that out there. Some areas were over 7,000 joules per kilogram. So definitely plenty of energy for these storms. Then we have a risk level 3 out of 5 for hail, wind, rain, and lightning. And then just below that, a risk level 2 out of 5 for tornadoes, flooding, power outages, and wind shear. The hazardous areas, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and northeastern United States. And the expected time is now through Thursday. Hey, thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like and share this with family and friends or whoever you would think that would enjoy watching TRA weather, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also check out the links listed below to both my Twitter and Instagram pages and an invite link to my weather Discord channel. Thank you. See you next time.